We're live. Hey, folks, this is the Battle Vortex Roundtable. We're going to talk about Battle Pirates today. I actually don't have a whole heck of a lot of an idea what we're going to talk about. We actually have a panel of members over here who will hopefully come up with some topics for us. The only thing that I could probably come up with on my own might be acid rain. So I don't know if nobody else has anything they want to talk about. We can just go ahead and get into acid rain. Does everybody want to introduce themselves? We can do that too. I know Vlad is actually live via cell phone again. Okay, he's still out trying to trick the deer into jumping on top of his car. And then I know we got Toxic on here. Robert, what's your game name? Is it Enterprise? Is that right?
Beer 30.
Beard 30 or Beer 30?
Beer.
Beer 30. Oh, okay. That's like what time you get off of work. I get it.
Anytime. Beer 30.
Every time.
Anytime.
Then we have, of course, Dirty Harry. Everybody knows our resident filthy coiner.
Hey.
And then we have Nemo, formerly known as Dazzletrap, drinking out of a Panera cup. And then Damnation and Hellfire is here. I think he's got his Mickey Mouse stuff taken care of. And then, oh yeah, you definitely sound better. And then last but not least, we have White Star. So, so it looks like we currently have a couple more slots open on the Hangout. So if anybody else wants to jump in, really the only thing that we ask is that you have a headset. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, let me. I think he forgot about the mute button. But anyway, only thing we ask is that you have a headset so that you can, help with the background noise a little bit. That way, we don't have to do like that. Just mute people. But anyway, so a couple more slots open. So Acid Rain, who's all done it? Has anybody on here not done it yet? All right.
Well, I haven't done it, and I don't think I will do it because I've got rhinos that are skulled, so there's no need for me to go and spend another 2,000 or 3,000 coins on something that I've already got, which is just as good.
Yeah, I can kind of understand. I actually did go out and do it one time. I figured if nothing else, I'll get a badge, but I think I just wanted to go in there and check it out. But to be honest with you, if you've done the prototype hunter, if I'm not mistaken, the campaign was identical to that.
I've been giving it a try, and it was too hard to do compared to the Proto Hunter. It was a little bit easier, the first tier and the second tier. The third tier, it just seems like they kind of ramped it up again, especially on the seventh target. It was a night and day difference of difficulty. It was way more difficult. And if I didn't absolutely need the Rhino, I don't know if I would even attempt it.
I know even getting the Harrier missile is something. If you don't have the blade and you don't have the disruptor missile, the Harrier missile is a really nice thing to get. But it just almost seems like it's crazy hard to do. I remember, Dirty Harry, I remember you when the Scourge first came out and you were using your V2 fleet for that.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost have to have that fleet, right, to think about moving forward.
Yeah. Bottom line, one of my long-standing opinions about this game, there are two key factors. If you stay on top of those two key factors, then you're going to do well in the game, and that is combat speed, keeping high in combat speed, which will help you in kiting activities. Turn speed fits in there a little bit, but that and weapon range. So whatever the longest range weapon is in the game, you take a fairly fast combat speed fleet. Take the longest range weapon and specials that you need to maximize your range, weapon range, and you're going to do better in most activities in the game. That being said, yes, you can put the Harriers, you can put the any of the long range missiles, blades, whatever, on the or the disruptors on the any hull V2Hs, prototype hunters, rhinos. Anything along those lines, anything with that you get the combat speed up in the 30 range, or better, and you're going to do well in most of these newer activities. This particular campaign is painful. It's painful. The Scourge, the biggest problem with the Scourge as opposed to the last raid is that they have at least the same range that you do, using the longest range weapons in the game, which means you can't kite anything.
Yeah.
And that gets right back down into the old conversation about whether to kite or whether to bull rush. And if you have weapons, a fleet with some long-range weapons as well as some short-range, hard-hitting weapons, I'm always a big proponent of the cryo depth charges for things like subs. I find that I do better at just flat bull rushing at the targets. The faster you kill them, the less they shoot at you. And that's the approach that I took. I did about half the campaign with my V2Hs and about half of it with my Rhinos, and barely made it through and killed both fleets. So that was my experience.
All right. Yeah, I know my wife. She could really use those Harrier missiles, but she doesn't feel like she's properly equipped to fight the Scourge. Even still, it just takes so long to build fleets in the game anymore. And she's not going to coin anything as far as the boats go. She won't do it. She'll coin events, but she won't coin fleets.
Well, I think at some point I just had to make a commitment to go for it. I mean, it was this is a prime example of, to me, what Kickstarter is going to make you do. If you're going to do this,
Hold on, we got it. Hold on a second. It should be muting here in a second. There he goes.
I know I probably could get the first 2 tiers no problem because of the time allowance, but with that 1 hour time limit on the last one, even if I could do it cheaply, it's not going to be free. I hope nobody thinks they're going to be able to get that hole for free. That is not something you're going to get for free unless you've got a number of holes you can throw at it. The time limit's not going to allow that. You're not going to be able to go through it and take so little damage that it's going to be free unless you've got a half dozen disposable fleets.
Yeah. All right. Well, does anybody else have anything? I mean, that they want to add about Acid Rain? Should I go through here, start calling people out again?
Yeah, you can do.
Or are we done with the subject?
To me, it just seems like a campaign that you kind of already have to have the prizes that are in it to be able to win the prizes that are in it, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without the blade, I wouldn't even try it. Honestly, I wouldn't. I don't think I can get enough weapons onto a boat that'll move fast enough. Because like one of the prizes is a mastodon, and although that has enough weapon slots to put R's and D's on it, it's not fast enough to do it.
Correct.
You can't turn and burn quick enough. So you almost need a Rhino to get this Rhino, or a Neptune, which is even in some cases I think better.
Well, the only other thing I would add, and sorry, I have a tendency to ramble, but the only other thing that I would add is that if I knew for sure that the original Rhinos were going to be in the Hull raid, and I knew that the Hull raid was going to be similar, which we actually do already know, it's going to at least be similar, if not exactly the same as the raid we just came out of, I would wait. I'd wait and get the Rhinos then. But I'm not advising anyone to wait simply because I cannot confirm yet whether or not the original Rhinos, are going to be in that raid. So you're rolling the dice if you don't go get these.
Something to consider for people who already have Rhinos is that if you've got them ranked up, they're going to be better than the Zoes anyways. And if Kix follows their pattern, once they've got everybody they think is going to chase the Zoes done chasing it, they'll put the original Rhinos in retro, and by R5, they will either equal or surpass the Zoes.
Go on, carry on. Sorry.
I was actually gonna disagree with that. Not to pick a fight there, Vlad, but I think that if you look at the Mastodon versus the Proto-Mastodon, you're really, the Proto-Mastodon is still, even with the retrofits on the Mastodons themselves, it's still a harder hitting boat. It's got that built-in Wendigo special. I can't remember exactly what the name of that gun is, but the built-in additional gun really hits hard and helps a lot.
Cryo something or other. Yeah, I like.
Are you talking about the concussion cannon?
No, the concussion cannon is on the Zoe Rhino. We were talking about the Mastodon versus the Proto-Mastodon.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot more
it has
resistance.
that cryo missile override, right? Random launch override. It was like a cryo missile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was looking at the resistance on the new one, and it's only because I don't have the old Rhino that this is a big deal for me. I totally agree with Harry there. If I already had it and it was ranked even a little bit, that would be pointless for me to even be involved.
But saying
it's
that,
a real shame. Sorry, you go, Mike.
Go on, Taxi.
You good? Go off you go.
Saying that though, there is a margin of a better resistance on the Zoe, but again, it's no big difference because you've got no corrosive damage, and you're going against Scourge, which is just going to do the same damage to you like your normal Rhino. So again, it's not worth getting.
Well,
So
I mean, I heard. Sorry, Harry, but I heard you say something about the new raid coming up. I mean, have you guys heard anything about the next raid not being a throwback to a different raid or something, or is there any?
It's going to be just like the one we just had.
Okay.
Same thing we
That's
just
the
had.
first I've heard of it, so that's good.
They said the one thing that may change might be the 89 boss target for the A's.
All right.
Yay! Unless they're going to make it harder.
Probably.
Yeah,
they did.
Probably.
It's okay if they make it harder, as long as they make it worth an equal amount higher of points, because then it'll take people who are willing to take the damage in exchange for time and give them the opportunity to do that.
They'll throw in the nice torpedoes that are in the campaign that outrange blade missiles.
I've not noticed that. I've heard a few people comment on that, where they're saying that the kick size torpedoes outrange our blades, but I've not noticed it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I was hoping Extreme was going to be on here because he seemed like he put a lot of work. And I saw where he had posted somewhere like this big old thing on the about that acid rain. I wish he was on here so he could talk about it because it seemed like he tried. But all right. So welcome to the show, BJ. I did mute you earlier. There's just a lot of background noise. If you know how to unmute yourself, which is just your mouse on the screen, and then at the top there's a mute microphone icon. So if you have anything to add, you can. Your mic's picking up like everything there in your room. So it's
I'll mute it again.
all right. So, well, I don't know what else to say about the acid rain other than it sucks. It seems like for some reason we're missing. There's like some kind of missing link that Kixeye is just having a hard time because it seemed like with the Scourge was so when that first came out, it's like very few people had what they needed to address the Scourge. I know a lot of people were thinking if they were thought like I did. Is that I thought I was prepared because I had subs, and I'm really good at fighting subs with my subs. I'm pretty good at it, but that turned out to not be the case. But now even that they brought the Drax back, they have all of this cool new tech, right? That we should all have to fight the Scourge. So the guys that we're fighting, the Drax that we're fighting, are like properly equipped to fight Scourge, and now we're still not properly equipped to fight them because we were like geared in, I think, or working on anti-Scourge fleets, and now we have to figure out how to combat the Drax, which for a lot of us who have tech is not really a problem, but for those of us that don't are really, really struggling. And for some reason, Kixeye is having a hard time given the people who don't have what they need to progress. It seems like they keep like cutting them out. It's I don't know if it's just a anti-coin thing that Kixeye is going through, like if you don't spend any money, you don't deserve any tech type deal. I don't think that Kixeye is really thinking about the future of this game very well right now, but I don't know. I really don't have anything else to add to that.
I do.
What's that?
The blades for raids, I said it 100 times, and it's literally we don't have the tech to get the tech we need. And then we don't have the means. I mean, even if they put the blades as a prize, I'm not going to say make it 100 million points, but make it something that's achievable at a guarantee. Like if you are willing to do it, you will get this. Not maybe you will get this, you will get this. Like the Rhino for me, I'm going to have to do what I'm going to have to do to get it. But at least I know I'm going to get it.
What about that ghost crawler? 250 pieces to get one?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
What a piece of shard.
You know,
Don't
I
start
think
harrowing off.
I
Oh,
think
there
a
we go.
good idea would be putting a Harrier in like Tier 3. What do you guys think? Harrier missiles in Tier 3, Disruptor missiles in Tier 3?
Yeah.
Something with that range at Tier 3 would be smart, yes.
Yeah.
If they really want to equip the mid to lower levels to be able to compete a little bit, yeah, that would be smart. I'm actually logging into the game now.
Harriers and disruptors in T3 and blades in T4, and with the build time on the Harriers, people can coin them up for relatively small amount onto an existing fleet and go get themselves the blades, and then they can build the blades over normal time. And yes, it would require an investment of some coins, but it wouldn't be a ridiculous amount, and people could have the opportunity to get the technology, because it really has turned into a game of you have blades or you don't have blades.
Yep.
Yep.
The only nice thing about blades is that they are still in the elite tier. So for anybody that's even been close to keeping up with the elite tiers, it's definitely worth grinding it out twice, as many times as you have to get those.
Honestly, I'd say go ahead and put the blades in Tier 3. If you're going to build the game around one weapon, then everybody should have easier access to it.
That's an even better idea than what I just said.
Or put it in a campaign, because then you don't have to worry about the weekly and one shot to do it. You can take it at the time when you can take the time to do it.
But the hitting power of the weapon, they're not going to put something that strong in Tier 3.
Talking about the blade?
Where you can go do 185 and win it. They're just not going to do that. And I think that makes a little bit of sense. We were talking about something with that range. So I'm getting a lot of feedback from somebody.
I think BJ's not muted right now. I think he might be waiting for an opportunity to talk. So.
Okay, go ahead, BJ.
No, I was just about to say, yeah, well, it took me a while to get the blades, and I've been grinding for ages to get it. And yeah, it was just because I had Harriers I was able to do it. So yeah, I prefer it staying in there too, because I grabbed it my ass to get them.
Yeah.
That's my own opinion, yeah.
I'm sorry, Harry. I didn't mean for T3 or T4 in the weekly. I meant make it T3 and T4 in the raid, so that if you get that number of points, you can actually select that prize.
Yeah, I agree that they should put the blades in because of the way the game is running right now. The blades should be a prize available in the raids. Last thing I want to throw in is the disruptor missile, the D53D, which has the same range as the blades, is in Tier 3. So anyone who goes out and does can regularly go out and do one or two 85s. So even a non-coiner should be able to smoke out Tier 3 fairly consistently.
D53D is in the Tier 3 Forsaken missions?
That's correct.
Oh, well, shoot, man.
So it has the range. Yeah. So the range.
But of course, it's random, right? It's a random job, so.
Yeah.
Which is why the campaign's kind of nice, because we've got 18 more days to do what we have to do to pound and get that R, and we have as many chances as we have fleets to kill to get it.
Well, what should really happen, and I don't disagree with what you all said, I just sort of don't quite agree. The right price should be a right price for a month. No one should win it apart from the people who did it in the raid. But after that month, that price should automatically drop into the FM or into a campaign, because then a new price will be out. And people that didn't get it in the raid have then a chance to get it in the FM or in a campaign type,
Yeah, they hold the content.
So
they take too long to get the content back out, but put it back into mainstream. But it's like they hold on to it, and you don't know when it's coming back.
I mean, 1 month is long enough, I reckon.
Yeah.
After 1 month, it should come out where everybody should be able to get that prize, if you put in a little bit.
Oh, remember the D55F? They held on to that until it was obsolete before they re-released it.
They do that with a lot of too many things have held on until it was obsolete, and then they use it to water down the FM instead of award you something useful.
Yeah, they did that with the Siege Missile Z. What was it? The Siege Cannon Z. Those are two specific examples I can think of things that I was really waiting to come back out. By the time they came out, I already had tech that made it obsolete. So.
Well, how about IRFs? Did anybody do IRFs this week on Thursday or Friday?
Yes.
Yep, I did.
I didn't actually touch any this week, so I couldn't tell you, if there were any differences in it or not. I was just, me personally, I had that VXP weekend last month, and all of the fleets, I haven't built any new fleets since then, so I've got nothing else, you know what I mean, that I felt like I needed to run out and rank,
No. Well, I built me HCs, and I went out and ranked them, and I got them up to 62% on doing the Earths, which is fairly good doing on the Earths. I've found the Earths this time using them boats because they're like tanks, fairly good. I could even do the, oh God, what they're called? The newer version of the Crusaders.
Templars.
Yeah, the Templars.
Yeah.
I could even do the Templars. I took a bit of damage, but not as much as what you normally would take from them damn things.
I saw a video of them doing 85s, and the guy had a total of 33 minutes of damage on the whole thing of killing an 85, and I think his longest repair time on one boat was only 8 minutes or 9 minutes, something like that.
That's me, Nemo.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I knew it was somebody I had seen before because I was like, 62%? That sounds familiar. Yeah,
What,
that was you.
what hull were you using? I don't think I've seen the video.
The HC, yeah.
To do out an 85 hub.
With scatterguns on them?
With the new weapons.
So you just
Yeah,
blitzed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
They are awesome.
Yeah, he
Those
stayed out of
HDs.
the way he did it. He came in just within range of one weapon and then just blasted everything on the whole tower. Just cleaned it off almost.
You've got to remember they've got them stupid rockets on there on the turrets, so you've got to be careful.
Yeah, the sturb turrets. Those are the ones that I think would be the most damaging. It sounds like actually Victoria does that with her rocket fleet, Gore Sabers. So it just gets within range of the corner of the a turret set and just sprays rockets, and it just obliterates the entire set of turrets. Yeah, pretty smooth.
Yeah, one of our chat our regulars, Alona, has a Gore Saber fleet with a countermeasure Gore Saber that matches speed, obviously, and she does that. She just targets the closest turret to her on one of those towers, and then the spread and the splash just absolutely annihilate it.
I've added one of those HCs to my Rhinos, and I've got a countermeasure ship and a Frosty, and I run two blade Rhinos. And the best I've got the 85 down to, and that's without an Aegis, just having a Serpent crew on, was just over 15 minutes, 15 minutes and 37 seconds.
Very nice.
So yeah, that countermeasure ship and that HC really helped me along with the 85s.
Yep. The only HC I'm building, which I'm in the process of doing, that I plan on building, which is I'm in the process of doing now, is a countermeasure version.
All right.
Just basically a big tank with countermeasures, and that's it.
I still want an Aegis, so I don't care what you say.
One more, well, actually not even a month. About 3 weeks, Bryce? 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working on too, is my Harlock Aegis.
we could be really evilly and say kicked up the Aegis or Harlock Aegis in this coming raid, please.
You'll be able to get another Highlanders nuclear cruiser. They'll let you have 4 of those, but no Aegis for you.
Nice.
That does sound like something that might actually happen, or could actually happen.
No, they would be it would be foolish for them not to release.
Exactly.
I would say it'd be foolish for them not to release both versions of the Aegis.
Yeah.
But then again, hey.
It's Kicksite. They can do
Yeah,
anything.
I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, since you did, I'll just nod my head in agreement.
Yeah.
It would have also been nice if the campaign would have at least extended a day or day, maybe a day and a half into the raid weekend, so that people would have a chance to get it, at a cheaper repair rate. That would have been nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I'm
noticed,
sure.
I noticed that they had it set.
Specifically didn't. Go ahead, Harry.
We were going to say the same thing. We
Yeah.
both noticed that. Yeah, they cut that off right before the raid started. I wonder why.
Absolutely, they specifically did that. They don't want you to be able to get your Zoes Rhinos at half price. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, even if you were going to coin the build so you use them. Oh no, it's the spend $1 to save a dime.
Talking about the raid, what would everybody on the panel like to see in this ship raid that's coming out? In the whole raid, what would they like to see in it?
For prizes, you mean?
Personally,
Prizes,
Yeah. Good.
yeah. Starting with anybody, come on.
Aegis.
Yeah, well, we know what you want, Bryce.
Harlock Aegis.
Harry?
Another Harlock Aegis?
I thought you
have two.
Harry, I thought you wanted
ignoring the obvious of the Aegis and Harlocks, I would like to see them allow us to have another Phantom Nighthawk.
Yeah.
There you go.
We have enough sub fleets that it would be nice. I have like 5 sub fleets. It would be nice to have a Phantom lead for 3 of them. But obviously, the primary hulls have got to be the Harlock Aegis and the regular Aegis.
Yeah. Along that same line, I would like, rather than having, another extra Phantom Nighthawk would be nice, but being able to use a 5th Banshee, as well as offering the regular Banshees in the hull. That's another prize I think they should offer. But
I got to agree with you on that. I only have 1 Banshee, and it just kills me that I missed the second one by like 2 spots on that fact.
Yep. So Banshees, flagships for the Banshee, a flagship for the Tiger Sharks. I wouldn't necessarily want to have Phantom Nighthawks as the flagships for those fleets. I would want something that matches their speed, and
Actually, we have one already. We have one already.
We do?
Artemis. That thing works great with subs.
Right, but it's not a sub. I'm talking about it having a 5th sub that you could use as a flagship. You're absolutely right. The Artemis is a good flagship for subs.
I'd like to see the Visago Hunter back in there as well.
Right.
But yeah, I'd like to see the Aegis in there. I'd like to see for another Frosty, another Phantom Nighthawk. That'll be nice.
I'm amazed no one said 250 shards. How about a Ghost Crawler?
I was actually thinking that. What if they put, you know how they've been doing the limited components, right? Five each. What if they did like 5 shards in there or something like that, or 10 shards, or
for a certain amount of yeah. That could be a good idea.
I think that would be a good idea, but I'm more inclined to believe they're going to have that have the same series of prizes in the Vanguards, the surface, the targets that surface. Were they called the Vanguards this time?
What do they call the Vanguards?
No, the 94s, whatever the 94s were called.
Vanguards.
Yeah. I get them confused because we have the Draconian Vanguards, then we have the Scourge Vanguards. So I get them confused.
I'd like to see cadmium armor with evade, or cadmium armor with evade and corrosive resistance, because, that whole cadmium in there.
You're asking too much, Nemo.
I know. I should just go for shards. But you guys already stole all the good ideas. The lead boats, the limited boats for subs is a great idea. I totally agree. I've got enough sub fleets now. It's time that I put something on top of them that just doesn't need to get out of the way.
I got something for you guys. This is something a developer had asked me recently. If you could think of a special, and just take your time, we still got 30 more minutes on here, so just something to kind of let it sink in. But if you could think of a special that's not been out yet, that you would really like to have, what would it be?
I got one right off the mark there for you, Price.
Corrosive?
We have no. We have not, since the start of the game, we have not any countermeasures against ballistic weapons. So a special that helps you against ballistics. Even though it's not really in the game anymore, but it's a special for it.
How about retargeting torpedoes?
That would be nice. Good idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I got to go with the obvious. Something to stop corrosive and something other than a limited blueprint to help with concussive. Because the only thing we really have to help with concussive, other than the Aegis itself, is the hydraulic resistance.
Yep.
Well, hang on. Are you looking for the premise of a new weapon?
Anything new special?
Yeah, it's just a special. Could be anything.
A special.
Yeah. Could be anything. From the chat already, we've had Mickey Rogers said compound armor with corrosive instead of radioactive defense. Daba, he said Metalbeard, he said burst of speed. Let me see. He says, well, I guess it's a special that actually lets you manually control your speed, is what it looks like, because he says you could actually reduce your speed or change it to increase your speed, that kind of thing. But counter for torps was one.
Along the same lines as what Metalbeard had put in there as far as speed, having a special that if you put it on all the boats in the fleet, it averaged their speeds and made that the maximum, or made that the combat speed of the fleet.
It'd be nice to be able to have all of your thermal resistance. There's something on there. That's what Alona just. I don't know why she's actually on here on the Hangout, but maybe she's just thinking she can't get a word in, so she's typing in the chat. But she says thermal resistance.
Kids are screaming in the background. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's what I'd like to see as a special as well. Anti-thermal for subs.
Anti-thermal.
Yes.
Some for. Yeah.
Something for subs so that.
Actually, I like that idea too.
Yeah, something to defend against thermal would be great. I mean, there's plenty of good ideas here. I'd just like to see them make lower repair times. I think that, or lower build times. I mean, we're going to have all this new stuff and we get excited about it, and it's real easy to have all these dreams and wishes, but I think I'm trying not to lose sight of the fact that, this is Christmas, right? This is supposed to be time to give us something, and I wish Kixeye would give us what they said they could do, and that's lower repair times, lower build times, mostly build times for me, because there's no sense in having a lower repair time if I'm not going to be able to build it in time to use it.
Okay, carrying on with that, Nemo, like we're talking about that, what do you think of that idea that they're trying to introduce with putting uranium onto lower build times? Now we've got a decent panel on.
Well,
before
you say that, let me add one more. Let me be the first to add. How about 50 Christmas gold like we got 3 years ago?
150 gold would be great.
No, just 50. But it was actually, we got that. Like, was it 2013 or 2012? We got Christmas gold.
Yeah.
And ever since you hear people you get around Christmas, they're like, "Where's our Christmas gold?"
So just to go back to Price's question there, before I forget it, because I'm old and I forget things. How about a special that lets you service the subs when you want and dive when you want? So that's mine.
Interesting.
I like that. That's something I would have liked a long time ago too. A little bit more control over your surfacing and submersion and all that kind of thing. It'd be really nice, especially like if you're in a sub fight and you get pinched. Well, 2 of your boats get pinched and the other ones don't. It'd be nice to be able to sync them back up again.
Or even ship tokens, build tokens for Christmas. Build tokens were okay, but again, why not just stop the middleman and forget the tokens and forget the uranium and all that stuff and just make it simple? It seems like they're really eager to make the game more and more sophisticated, more complicated, and I think going back to just shorter times makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a special that gives us Shroud. That ability that's been in a couple raids. I'd like to see a special that did that.
Or a weapon special on a base, turret special. It would shroud an area of your base, so they'd have to kill that before they could get to the other stuff on the base. That'd be kind of cool.
Yep. That would be a great idea. Put that on your certain guard fleet. Hulls. That way, as they're coming in, they have to kill the guard fleet, and the turrets continue to fire, and they can't target those. That's a good idea.
Cool.
That is a really good one. I might write that one down. Make sure they hear about that one.
It's recorded already.
Yeah. Yeah, and they may watch this. They might be watching right now. Really don't know for sure, but just to kind of reinforce and make sure. But now, I guess, did we get back to White Star's question when he was asking about uranium versus fleet build time? I understand that that new cadmium armor that just came out requires like 30,000 uranium.
Mm-hmm.
What's everybody's thoughts on that?
As long as they make uranium easily accessible, or as easily accessible as it is right now, the targets, it'd be okay if the targets get harder as the fleets get more powerful, but yeah,
it's kind of setting the tone, though, isn't it? It's starting to look like this is what they're going to do from now on. Like each month, they're going to introduce a new component that requires uranium for a shorter build time. It's like they're trying to put it in your hands. That way, if you can complain about shorter build time, it's your fault that you don't have shorter build time. Instead of them actually fixing the issue, they're trying to put you in a position to where it's your fault and not their fault. I mean, that's how I look at it. But I have a bad attitude, so.
That's why I see it too. Oh, you didn't get the tokens from Tier 4, so it's your fault. You didn't get the uranium, it's your fault. It's exactly what I'm thinking. Exactly why I don't like either one of those ideas. Get rid of the tokens for all I care. It's not helping me. I mean, I get them, but only after I've paid enough to, if that was my method for lowering my build time, I should have just coined it.
I don't know about the rest of you guys, but for me, ever since the Charon torpedoes came out, uranium is not a problem.
Yeah, I every now and then I make a stupid move and I'll lose a ship. With the subs, if you get spotted, you're definitely losing at least one boat. But
yeah.
With some practice, that doesn't generally happen unless you're just not paying attention.
Yep. But as long as you've got a subfleet with Charon torpedoes, uranium is no problem for me anymore.
Well, I guess if they're going to make it something they're going to have to do, at least make it optional. Don't make it you have to have that uranium. If you don't have the uranium, then okay, give us a longer build time, but don't give us both. Don't you either get the uranium or you don't get it. It's like some of these things, if you don't have the uranium, you can't build it at all.
Well, I'm sure that if you ask in your sector someone to open up a 60 or a couple of 60s for you, I think there'd be plenty of people trying to jump in, just leaving the boats that you can just sub out.
Yeah, but you're saying that'd be okay if the armadas were always there for you. But see, it's that whole, you've got to do this, and then you've got to do that, and then you've got to do this, and then you've got 4 or 5 steps before you get to the point where, oh, now you need help also? There's too many steps.
To get the armadas out, all you really need to do is kill a few cargoes, not too hard.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that people are always happy to help with the armadas. That's how I see it anyway. I really like the uranium idea. It would be good if they make it optional, but I like the idea.
Here's the problem I see, though. Like, when the weapon came out, it was 27K. Everybody was kind of okay with that. Well, now the new thing that came out is 30K. What I see is, like, 3 or 4 months from now, everything that you're going to put on for the production is going to be, like, 100,000 uranium. And they're going to milk it that way because that's what KIXEYE does.
Well, and the thing that I don't like that is a turnoff for me, quite honestly, is the fact that, okay, if you don't have uranium, then you can't build this particular component. It's just, it is a slippery slope. Somebody in the chat already said it in the YouTube chat, but it just seems to me that if that's the direction, I know in War Commander, and I know the Kixeye teams don't generally talk to each other. So you had the War Commander team, you had the Vega Conflict team, and the Battle Pirate team, and none of them are learning from each other. I hate to say it, I can't really say that because Vega Conflict actually did try to pay attention to the other guys when they were developing that game. But the Battle Pirate team and the War Commander team, I just I know in War Commander the game you couldn't do anything without thorium, and thorium was that game's uranium. Okay, and you couldn't any upgrades you had to do to your structures in your base, any researches. It got to a point where everything took thorium once you got up to a certain level, and I would really hate to see something like that happen to Battle Pirates. I mean, I definitely, people are always saying this is the death of Battle Pirates, whatever the topic is that particular month. Every month you hear that this is the death of Battle Pirates, but I am confident that will definitely be the death of Battle Pirates because it killed War Commander, in my opinion. I mean, it basically turned War Commander. If you think hackers are bad on Battle Pirates, you ain't seen nothing. War Commander was horrible with hackers.
And that's just it. The times we're saying we need lower times. They're saying we're going to give you lower times, and then they turn around and do what? Look at the build time, just the whole build time of the new Rhino. It's double what the old one was. You couldn't get farther from the opposite of the truth. No evidence. I'm not looking for little tiny things. They're saying baby steps, but I'm saying you're taking baby steps we can't see and great big steps that we do see in the other direction.
That's just like your res collectors and stuff like that. The last level they added, it's almost a 12-day build just to upgrade that last level.
That is stupid. Yeah.
And the one before that,
day 12.
Yeah.
That definitely topped the list of most ridiculous things Kixeye's done. I don't understand how it is that they justify a 12-day upgrade for res collectors. I don't get it. I really don't.
Well,
I mean, they produced.
That was a heck of a jump.
Yeah. Well, and they did the same thing with defense platforms. That's why I'm still behind. I mean, my base is like so far behind because I won't coin the stuff in my base. That's why my base is a farm. And you know what? It's just pixels to me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to hand them $50 for one defense platform or $60 to go from a level 5 to a level 6. I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to do another $60 or $50 to put a turret on top of that one platform because then I have to do it 16, 17, 18 more times. That's freaking nuts.
And that's what's killing it.
It blows me away that Kixeye feels like this game holds that kind of value. And, it just blows me away. It really does. I don't understand it. And I don't think they're... I mean, it must be a bunch of freaking Rockefellers over there if they think that kind of spending is okay and there's that kind of value in there. I just don't get it.
We used to have fun hitting bases. I used to not mind being hit. I still don't mind being hit. I even mind being hit even less now. But it used to be, I don't know, it used to be a dream that I would get to hit. And now that dream is gone. And it used to be a dream that I could defend myself, and that dream is gone. And the dream was I'm going to build a great guard fleet that's going to make a difference, but now if I can't do it every month, that difference is gone. So this war game isn't my game anymore. I've got to go play, Farmville for Battle Pirates, to go get my res, to go get my uranium, to go open this, to go do that. I'm too busy with chores, plowing the field, to play a war game.
Yeah.
Eric Crew, man. I love a good sense of humor. Eric Crew, one of the most ridiculous things in War Commander, and maybe this is going to happen in Battle Pirates at some point, but he just brought it up. He's like, back to specials. He's like, floating turrets.
What?
They actually, in War Commander, they actually do have floating defense platforms. They have that way. All of the stuff that can shoot at ground-only stuff can't shoot at the turrets. Only stuff that can fire at air can shoot at the turrets. All you gotta do is make them float. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Wow.
That would be nuts.
Well, they get all their best ideas from their failed games. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Backyard Pirates, here we come.
All right. Well, what else we got? Anything?
I wanted to go back to what you were saying about basically Kicks putting the onus of lower build times in our hands. I think I think you really hit the nail on the head with that, because I think one of the things that they probably want to do is keep it from feeling like us playing against the company, us playing against Kixeye, and put it in our hands so that we're basically playing against ourselves, making decisions for ourselves that we're responsible for the outcome of those decisions.
Well, repair modifiers. They came out with that VXP repair specialist, right? And was that supposed to be the same thing, you think? Where, okay, our repair times are so high is because we haven't made our fleets legendary yet?
Yes.
So
that type of
our repair times are so huge.
Yes. That way, yeah. I think that they would like to see us change the focus so that the blame falls upon us for either not ranking our fleets or not buying coining enough in a raid or getting enough uranium or whatever it is. That way they could, it could be turned around and pointed back at us. Well, the opportunity was there for you to do it, but you chose not to do it, so that's why your fleet takes so long to repair or took so long to build.
Yeah, but you're just going back to what Nemo was saying about the baby steps, because the difference between my fleet repair now when they're legendary and before when they weren't, it's like an hour or two. I mean, it's not that big of a difference.
I think it's like 25% maximum, isn't it? Something along those lines, unless it's a 150% repair modifier or something. But 25% for most fleets, that's pretty significant. Several hours.
Well, if you had repair specialists for most fleets, that would be something.
Yeah.
Look at it. What's the fleet that we're using the most right now?
Right.
Rhinos, no repair modifier or no repair specialist, and Tiger Sharks, no repair specialist. So if you're out there using your V2s, yeah, if you've got them legendary, you get a little bit of help.
Yes.
But with the fleets that you need to do what you need to do are mostly fleets that don't have repair specialists, which means that it doesn't matter what rank they are, the repair specialist system doesn't work.
Well, actually it does, because that's exactly why I said at the beginning of the round table that I used my V2H fleet first, because they had a repair modifier on them, and used those for everything I could, and they have the same weapons, same range, and roughly the same combat speed, although better turn speed, than my Rhinos, and they repair a lot faster because of the repair specialist, and they just don't have as much armor on them. But that's exactly why I would use the V2.
You have R10 V2s, which you probably helped along getting them there. Mine are at R3 because they were useless until Blades came out. So I didn't just arbitrarily retrofit them to R10 when I didn't have a use for them.
Okay.
So you're kind of caught in a catch-22. If you use your retro lab to help the fleets that are actually working for you, and then they make a change like that, well, now you have to go back and catch up that other fleet. Right now I'm waiting the 14.5 days for R5 on my V2s. They're legendary, but at R4 they're just not getting the job done.
Right. And we've kind of had the conversation before about making the investment up front or making the investment along the way. So so basically you have the choice. You could coin up the retros, or at least speed them up considerably, and pay your coins there, or you can pay your coins for repairs until you wait the time to get the fleet retrofitted.
I think we're all in a different club here, but I'm just going to go ahead and ask a question. What is an acceptable amount? What is the most you feel for any one game should require spending each month? I mean, I guess it's going to be different for everybody, but in the spirit of limiting how much coin somebody can spend, you're also increasing the amount of competition, right? Mm-hmm. So it becomes more about skill and less about I mean, I watched somebody coin right before the show, there was a guy whose base was getting hit, and the guy was like, they were like blocking, and then he'd coin his guard back, and he'd get subbed out again. That was like blowing my mind. And then after he got his guard subbed out like 3 times, he finally sunk the guy's subs, and he's like, oh yeah, but it just seems like at some point it just seems like all we're doing is fighting with coin, you know. Does anybody here miss the skill, or do you think that spending coin is acceptable? Should there be a limit on how much you are allowed to spend a month?
I think there'd be a good thing to be a limit on how much benefit you can receive from coining. It's not how much you can spend. I think encouraging people to buy stuff is great. Skins were a decent idea, but they needed to do more than be cosmetic. I mean, certain advantages need to be there for coiners to keep them busy, but there needs to be a better benefit for those willing to put in the time to grind it.
Yeah, it just seems, if you could, I mean, Kickside doesn't seem to be at all looking towards closing that gap, the power gap between the haves and the haves not. It seems like the gap, no matter what they do, the gap seems like it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The game has more value the more you spend. You know what I mean? Because the more you spend, then all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, you can have lower repair times, right, with this cool new armor, or this particular VXP specialist. It's because you can have this because you spend so much. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. It just doesn't seem like they're doing a whole heck of a lot to close that gap, or it doesn't even really seem like there's any kind of interest, because it seems to me that they keep doing the same thing. I mean, obviously, I haven't seen any kind of significant changes regarding build repair times yet. I think the VXP repair specialist is a bust, in my opinion. And I've got legendary boats now, but sadly, all the boats I got are legendary. I don't have a crew for, a VXP repair specialist for, so I don't really get any benefit. But I don't know. I want to build a Tiger Shark fleet. I built 3 prototype hunter hulls, and I'm probably not going to finish the fleet because I feel like I don't want to continue investing in that. I think that fleet's going to be pointless by the time I get it done.
Yeah, and they're never going to close that gap, Price. They're just never going to do it. They want it to be as attractive as possible.
Well, I'm not saying you should close the gap, but I definitely think you should just kind of cap the benefit that you can buy. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
I agree.
Let's bring up something that, Price, you were beating this drum pretty heavy for months. Those of us who spend less coin, or those folks who spend no coin at all, provide free content for Kickside to keep the coiners busy. I had a guy that was willing to coin up a ghost crawler, try to ram it through my base last week. I provided content for him. I'm sure he wasn't happy with the content I provided because I sank it, but I was there to provide content for him.
Well, there's value there, right?
Well, there was value to me. I enjoyed watching it sink. Apparently, there was value to him.
I'm just saying you provided value to the community.
I did.
Just by having that base there and providing a resource that somebody was interested in challenging.
A target that was thought out by a human as opposed to just being generated by an algorithm. And that was content for somebody else.
Yeah.
And if you don't provide value to people who are coining lower amounts or no amounts at all, you eventually run them out of the game. And you look at the dead bases that you try to hit when you're going out for your alliance points. I know not everybody here gets them. I get mine every week. There's a lot of dead bases that you go into, and even not just 50s, 60s and 70s that are unrepaired and apparently have been around for a while. And you have to do something to help to keep those players interested, at least enough for them to hit repair to provide content for the coiners.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself, Vlad. But it is disappointing, to coin a word since you're stealing all my thunder, it is disappointing that they're not interested in keeping that content alive, that they're not interested in keeping those lower coiners active, keep the sectors active. They're driving them away. They're keeping these dead sectors around, these banned players around, these dead bases around, and instead of consolidating and valuing it, they're happy with condensing it until there's almost no challenge left. The only people that are providing challenge for each other are the big coiners.
Yeah, and I reckon 3, 4, 5 hours at the very most to have a fleet, a big, heavy, well-armored baser fleet, maybe 5 hours. But little light fleet versus fleets, a couple of hours, you'd coin them back straight away, and you're back out. And Kicks would make a lot more money because I'm not gonna. Well, I'm not hitting any bases now, but when I did, I'm not gonna coin the fleet. I'm not gonna give them 50 or 60 coins for one fleet. But if that fleet was 2, 3, 4, 5 coins to repair, yes, I would consider coining that fleet 3, 4 times maybe, because it's only a few coins, and they would get some money out of me. But now they don't.
Okay. Well, okay. I guess I don't know. I had a thought, so I just thought I would bring it up. But
it was a good one.
Yeah.
What I'm willing to spend is enough. Well, you asked the question of what would we be acceptable to spend. What I'm acceptable to spend is going to be about the entertainment. If it's worth it for me to keep putting money into it, it's going to have to be providing the entertainment that I'm paying for. And when you exceed, when I'm expected to pay more than I'm getting, I'm going to pay less to the point where I'm paying nothing. I'm going to pay nothing. When I go, I can get 250 hours of entertainment out of this game worth $50, and I can play it for weeks, or I can pay $50 for 20 minutes worth of fun, and then I can watch my dead fleets just either sit there or coin them up and have another 20 minutes worth of fun for that $50. Kixeye really just needs to get a hold of that, and they need to look at the competition and what they're trying to. I don't understand what they're looking at. I don't understand how they come up with this idea that their product is so valuable that people are going to be willing to do it.
Well,
that's probably what it is.
Well, yeah, I think the market has kind of set itself a little bit when you think about all the people that do coin fleets every month.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the rank, I couldn't tell you how many legendary heavy cruisers. I've seen several legendary heavy cruisers. There was a guy right next to me in the last sector I was in that actually coined 2 fleets of heavy cruisers, both legendary.
I'm playing the wrong game.
Rank up and everything.
Yep.
That's what it tells me.
And let's be honest too. I mean, this isn't a problem that's just indicative to Kixeye. This is like Facebook platform in general. Like there's all kinds of other war strategy games out there that also cost like this much if you want to have your stuff right away. So it's not just the Kixeye problem.
Yeah. Maybe I should go down the line, man, because I'm really curious how many people think like I do. If you were to win the lottery, okay, let's just say $5 million, okay?
Right.
You won $5 million. How would that affect your Battle Pirates game? I'm going to go down the line. Okay, I'm going to start calling out names. I'm going to let each one of y'all answer. I'm going to start with White Star all the way on the end. If you won $5 million, how would that affect your Battle Pirates game?
Good question. Very good question, and it's a very hard one to answer because I know the first thing I'd do if I won the lottery is get on a sorry plane and get out of this country.
Okay. Vacation time, that's what I'm talking about. BJ, what would you do, man?
Oh, definitely be the asshole Battle Pirates anyway. No, I'll coin everything that I've wanted to coin and have it legendary and everything. Yeah, I wouldn't muck around.
Oh, really? So, I mean, you would actually take your $5 million and you would hand that over to Kixeye?
I'll give them a chunk of it anyway. I'll normally give them a chunk of my pay anyway.
Damnation, how about you, buddy?
I don't know. I might end up maybe possibly doubling the amount I spent. I spend like usually $100 a month. If I won $5 million, I might take it to $200 a month. You know, just because I could and not have to worry about it.
I suspect you might be closest to me in that. I think, Alona.
I ain't gonna lie, I'd turn into a whale for at least a good month. I would buy anything and everything I possibly friggin' wanted on this game and just say fuck all.
I heard that. All right. Nemo, your answer is probably the one I'm most interested in. I want to hear what you would do.
It might end my career at Battle Pirates, to be absolutely honest, because this isn't providing enough entertainment. My $5 million could go a lot farther somewhere else. Now that I've got it to go spend, I'm probably going to be interested in moving somewhere near Kixeye, just so I can keep my eye on my new company.
I heard that.
I'm gonna give Will Harbin a chance to earn $4.5 million to get the hell out of the company. Here's your parachute. Because I know that's what he wants. He wants a quick buck and get out. I mean, he wants his big bowl of gravy, so to speak, and go. He's not interested in the little bowls. He wants the big ones, and I would give him the biggest one to get him gone. And I probably actually, in all realisticness, I would probably join Leona. It'd be a whale for a little while, but it wouldn't be a huge whale, and it wouldn't be a very long period of time. It'd be why I planned, my house building or whatever you call it. Just my exit strategy. I would probably play the game until it dies in December. Oh, did I say that? Oh. No, I mean, I probably would spend a reasonable. If the game was still around in January, which I'm inclined to wonder if that's even going to be the same game in January, I would probably spend a little bit more than I spend now. I wouldn't say even double, but it's just it doesn't provide enough entertainment. Like I said, it would probably spend the end. It would be a short-term whale project on my way to something better. Because if I've got that kind of money to spend, I don't even know if Battle Pirates would be where I'd want to blow it. There just isn't enough entertainment here.
Yeah.
It's too short-sighted,
Dirty Harry, I don't know if I should even ask you this question because I suspect it probably wouldn't impact your game at all.
Because cut his spending.
You pretty much already coin anything you want. Am I right?
Pretty much. No, it wouldn't affect. It might reduce my play time because I'd actually have some more real world things to take care of. But
yeah,
maybe you put a stripper pole in or something, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
so you're playing Battle Pirates
right there, right in front of my monitor, right about there. Yeah, I could see that. But as far as my actual coining activities, they would probably increase slightly. I'd be more inclined to coin rank, which, as anybody who's ever been in a sector with me generally knows, if I've got something I'm trying to rank, man, you better get your res while you can because I'm going to be pounding the crap out of the cargoes. But outside of that, it wouldn't change much.
Beer 30. How about you, man?
I would be gone long enough that my base would probably get moved.
All right, I heard that. So you'd go out and do some real life. I like that thought. I like that thought. Toxic. How about you, man?
Well, I'd become the bloke that everybody be hating in Battle Pirate. I would just coin the absolute crap out of it, and I would hit anything and everything. For as long as I'm awake, as long as I can keep my eyes open.
That tells me that you really enjoy the game. That's what that tells me. Quite honestly, I mean, if you're willing to take the money and if it would impact your game like that, it tells me that you really do enjoy the game. And so maybe the value actually is there. You know what I mean?
There is. I mean, I stopped coining and the game wasn't very much fun. And I'm not a huge coiner, but I've coined a little bit, and I've coined myself a fleet of HCs, and I've got the rhinos, and it is fun when you have the tools to work with.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, it is fun. Doesn't matter what anybody says. As soon as you got the tools and you've got the prices and everything, it is fun to play. And if I had $5 million, I would give a few people some coins, and then I would just go and destroy sectors. Worlds, not the sectors.
Lotto pirates.
Destroy worlds. That is awesome.
Grubby just called us Lotto pirates.
There you go.
Vlad, you're up next, buddy.
Do you remember Santana's last video?
No.
Yeah.
There'd be one with the name Vlad on it. I
You would
would
scrap
be
your base.
so done. You know, when I was on active duty, I was a pilot in the Air Force. I would go take that money, buy a small plane, and I would go to long lunches wherever the hell I felt like it. I would never think about the game again.
I heard that. You wouldn't say, I wonder what those poor Battle Pirate guys are doing.
You know what? I have some friends I would keep up with, but no, I'd be done with the game. I enjoy this game, but if I had $5 million, I could find something that I enjoyed a hell of a lot more to play in this game.
Now, Vlad, you'd be like most of the other rage quitters, and you'd log out and you'd log back in a month later talking about, I got to catch up.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's why I would recycle, because I've always said if you don't recycle, you haven't quit.
But, dude, you'd have $5 million. You could get it back real quick.
Yeah.
He'd just buy it all back.
You still have the blueprints. You just have to coin the fleets back.
Or send a ticket to Kickstarter and get your base reset back.
Yeah. Well, me personally, I think if I won $5 million, I would take a bit of a vacation. I don't know that for me. Yeah, I would definitely take a vacation, and I mean, obviously, there's a lot of real life stuff I would take. I would try to get taken care of. As far as Battle Pirates goes, I might do like Damnation. If I my coining, maybe it might double. It might go up to $200 a month, but I don't see it. Quite honestly, I mean, it being that it is pixels, unless there actually is going to be like a real boat at the end of the rainbow somewhere, I just don't see me spinning like a lot of people do. You know what I mean? I think I'd actually rather have a real boat now that I'm thinking about it.
That's what I was just going to ask you. If anybody could quit Battle Pirates and get half the money you've put back into it, would you be playing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. I was just curious, how much everybody valued Battle Pirates, and I'm not going to lie. After I got my Rhino fleet, got it legendary, the game is a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than it was. Of course, I am still sad that I can't really defend my base, and I look at how much that would cost. Yeah. My Rhino fleet was nothing.
Yes.
Rhino fleet was nothing because it would cost me probably 5 times that to get my base current.
And your recurring costs would go up dramatically from having to coin that fleet back, because a fleet that can defend your base now, it would take longer than a day and a half to repair. I know because I have one.
Yeah,
filthy
it's
corner.
a shame. So I would like to see. I mean, going forward, I mean, I think I really think what Kickstarter needs to do to get the PvP back is they do need to close that gap between because right now the only people that are enjoying PvP are the big coiners, the whales. I guess there's some people that don't spend as much that are just smarter than I am. You know what I mean? And it's not that hard to do, folks. I mean, I wish I was as smart as a lot of people gave me credit for, but obviously my game says something else. If Joel ever comes back on one of these shows, man, he's a young buck, man, but he's plenty smart on this game. He used to have a lot of fun on here, and without any kind of coining at all. I guess that did probably kind of change with the Scourge, so maybe that's why what happened to him. I don't know. But anyway, we are long, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the plug on this. I do appreciate everybody for joining here on the panel. Thanks everybody for coming in and giving us your 2 cents, and everybody in the chat. So the YouTube stream is doing pretty good right now as well. We got a lot of people in there, and we get a lot of input on there too. So I do appreciate it. People are on there talking about buying a house and spending. I guess you're talking about how much money some people have spent on this game. Yeah, there's some people in here that have spent tens of thousands of dollars on this game, and it blows my mind. It blows my mind. There's people that.
Back to your lottery question, probably one of the other first things I would do would be buy a supercomputer. That way, Kixeye could never try to blame my computer for their screw ups again.
Oh, they wouldn't do that. They would still do that because you can. If you got a brand new computer out of the box that was the best on the market, there can still be a problem with your computer. You know what I mean?
And it would be out of date in a month.
So blame it onto latency then.
Yeah, I mean, because you got internet latency, and even if you have if you got a cable modem, 100 meg cable modem at your house like I have, it doesn't mean that that's clean. There can still be an issue with that would cause can cause packet loss, and which latency, applications on your computer that can cause latency on your computer with your RAM and all that stuff. So yeah, even there's you got to be really tech savvy these days to deal with Kixeye. And you know what I mean, and get in the front of a lot of this, and just have all your ducks in a row, because, most people don't. They just like to go straight to Kixeye. But anyway, that's a whole nother show. So I'm gonna go.
I just want to see the game be more fun.
Yeah.
For everybody, not just the coiners, for everybody. I want to see somebody at Kixeye understand that your 2% of whalers are having fun and your other 98% of the people are waiting to have fun and they're depending on you to bring it, and you're going to have to do something to bring it to them before they just pull their own plug.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool beans. If there's no more last words, I'm going to go ahead and say bye. All right.
Nope, that's it.
All right.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Good night, everyone.
Yep. Thanks, everybody, one more time, and good night. See y'all on Thursday, by the way. Oh, no, actually, you won't see us on Thursday. No show Thursday. It's Thanksgiving here in the United States, so nothing on Thursday. As far as a roundtable next weekend goes, I'm not 100% sure if that's going to happen either. I suspect that some arbiters may decide to host a roundtable on Saturday. We'll see.
Yeah, if you can't host, Price, I'll be available.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. So, there you go. Just keep your eyes peeled on the page, the BV page, which is right here, bp.battlevortex.tv. Go there, join that page, become a member. Keep your eyes on the events, and you'll know more. You'll know when everybody does. So take care.
Good night.
Later.